Hi, hello and welcome back to F1 Challenge VB. My name is Mephisto and our journey through the history of Formula 1 continues today with the opening round of the 1956 season, the Argentine Grand Prix. But before we begin, let's have a quick look at the poll results. There were slightly fewer voters this time around, but I suspect that's a result of the 1955 season being a bit shorter as well. So there were 46 people who sent in their votes. Now let's break down the results. Louis Rozier's Maserati received 1 vote, André Pilet's Ferrari also received 1 vote, Connaught and Simca Gordini received 2 votes each, BRM received 4 votes, Maserati have 5 votes, Vanwall and Ferrari each received 7 votes, but the clear winner was Bugatti with 17 votes. And I must say that I was quite surprised by this result, but hopefully Bugatti will work well for us. So thank you to all who took part in the poll, I really appreciate it, and thanks to everyone who's following my channel. It's really nice to see this small community grow as time goes. Anyway, let's jump into the season overview. So the 1956 season was held between the 22nd of January and the 14th of October, and was made up of a total of 18 races. 8 of them were part of the World Championship and the remaining 10 were non-championship events. Juan Manuel Fangio won the 1956 season, making this his 3rd consecutive victory and his 4th overall. He managed to win 3 of the 8 Grand Prix and scored a total of 30 points, or 33 if we are to consider the dropped points. Moss finished the season in 2nd with 27 points or 28 with the dropped points, and finally Peter Collins ended the season in 3rd with 25 points. Before we move on to the Argentine Grand Prix, there are a few more things I'd like to talk about really quickly. Going into the final race of the season, Juan Manuel Fangio was leading the championship with 8 points over Peter Collins and Jean Berra. The only way he could lose the title would be to score no points, with Collins winning the Italian Grand Prix and setting the fastest lap as well. Because a driver could only count their best 5 scores, Berra could not win the title. Fangio retired, and with Musso unwilling to share his car with Fangio, Collins had a great chance of winning his first title. Collins, however, in a remarkable act of sportsmanship, instead chose to hand his car over to Fangio to allow the Argentinian to finish 2nd in the race and win his 3rd title in a row. That really is a remarkable show of appreciation from Collins, and it's definitely something that wouldn't happen today, even if it would still be legal to share cars among teammates. I guess this is one of the charms of early Formula 1. It just goes to show that winning back then wasn't as important as it is today. Remember, they were not considered professional sportsmen, they were just a bunch of rich people who wanted to have some fun on a Sunday afternoon. Stuff like this simply wouldn't fly in today's highly competitive Grand Prix racing. With that said, let's have a quick look at the Argentine Grand Prix, which was held on the 22nd of January. It had 13 entries, all of who took part in the race, but 7 of them ended up retiring. The race consisted of 98 laps completed in 3 hours and 3 seconds. The lineup at the start of the race saw Fangio on pole with Castellotti 2nd, Musso 3rd, Berra 4th and Gonzalez 5th. Luigi Musso gave his car to Juan Manuel Fangio, who crashed his own, who eventually managed to win the Argentine Grand Prix. Berra finished in 2nd, 24.4 seconds later. Hawthorne finished in 3rd, he was 2 laps down. Chico Landi gave his car to Gerino Gerini, who finished in 4th, he was 6 laps down, and Olivier Gendebien crossed the line in 5th, he was 7 laps behind the leader. The fastest lap of the race was posted by Juan Manuel Fangio, and it was a 1 minute 45.3 second lap. Okay, so we're back in Buenos Aires in Argentina for the season opener. And a lap here starts with a long run down into turn 1, a long right-hander that tightens as you go. Turn 2 is next, an open right-hander. Easy on the throttle as you exit because there's a hill immediately after the corner, and if you go too fast you risk missing your braking point for turn 3, a tight right-hand hairpin, followed immediately by a slow left-right chicane. This itself leads into turns 5 and 6, 2 slow-speed left-handers. Careful as you exit turn 6, it's easy to lose the back here. Turn 7 is up next, another left-right chicane, but this one is much faster. Try to keep to the right as you approach the second part of the chicane, lest you want to crash into the grandstands to the left there. Next is turn 8, another tight right hand hairpin. Keep the car nice and tight, then accelerate away into turn 9, the last corner of the track. A high speed left hander, careful through here as the track is very bumpy, but that brings us back onto the main straight, and that is a lap around the Buenos Aires circuit. Alright, so here we are for the Argentine Grand Prix, coming around to set our first and only qualifying lap because I just couldn't get myself to go any faster, and this was a 1:45.5, about 5.5 seconds lower than Sterling Moss' pole position. Unfortunately, I really tried to go faster, but I just couldn't get myself to go. And here we have the previous Argentine Grand Prix winners. Fortunately, we number ourselves among them. And here we have the grid walk. We have Fangio on pole with Moss second, Peter Collins is in third, fourth is Eugenio Castellotti, fifth is Jean Berra, followed by sixth, who is Cesare Perdista, Jack Fairman 7th, Luigi Villoresi 8th, Hermano da Silva Ramos is 9th, Gerino Gerini, a new face in town, is in 10th, Harry Schell 11th, 12th Paul Frere, Paco Godia, another new driver, 13th, 14th Mike Hawthorne, Louis Rosier 15th, Horace Gould 16th, 17th is Ron Flockhart, another new driver, Alfonso de Portago, another new driver, is 18th, Luigi Musso 19th, Andy Hicks 20th, and last but not least 21st André Pillet in the yellow Ferrari. So here we are once again in Argentina for a new season, the 1956 season. Hopefully it will be slightly better than the previous one in terms of AI driving. It should be, because, well, there are only 21 cars on the grid instead of 32. That was one of the major reasons why we had so many retirements throughout the season in the previous season, but hopefully this will go a little bit better as we come into turn 1. And something happened to that red Ferrari there. It kind of started tumbling. Oh, and the yellow Ferrari also starts tumbling around. I have no idea what happened there. That's not something you'd expect these cars to do. And here we have another look at the start. A bit of smoke coming off the rear of my rear tires, but that's nothing really big. And I was trying to go as fast as I could. However, I couldn't really catch up to the guys in front of me until we actually got into turn 1 here, and the AI started to. I really have no idea why those Ferraris are tumbling. And here we have a replay of Paul Frere. He's coming through turn 1. He's turning right, and for some reason his car kind of starts flipping itself all over. Not really sure how that works. And this is Peter Collins, and his Ferrari goes the same way. Again, I don't know why. It's almost as if these cars would have the center of mass above them, and that is Luigi Musso we are watching now. But yeah, it really seems like the center of mass is way above the car, and that's why they keep flipping around like that. They shouldn't do that. That was De Portago, by the way. And here we have Eugenio Castellotti, who was coming around to start his second lap, but oh well, he didn't quite manage to. As we ourselves now move on to lap 2. We are in 12th at the moment. Horace Gould is in front of us with André Pillet behind us, some 11 seconds behind. And we have another replay. This is Juan Manuel Fangio's Ferrari. Again, he tries to turn right into the corner, but well, the car flips, and someone collected Fangio there. I don't know who it is, we'll find out soon. And this is André Pillet for a second time in his yellow Ferrari flipping around. And this is Hawthorne in the BRM. His car also flips around. He ends up on this patch of sand, crashes into the cameraman stand, and that was it. And that was Jack Fairman who crashed into Juan Manuel Fangio. So we have quite a few retirements on lap 2 here. We are still in 12th, still chasing after Horace Gould. He's put a big gap between us. We're now on lap 7. The gap to Horace Gould is now 32 seconds, and we have another replay. This is Ron Flockhart, whose engine kind of died, and not only that, but he also managed to flip his car over, so that is his Grand Prix over, as we now move up into 11th place thanks to Flockhart's retirement. Lap 13, and that is Sterling Moss, the race leader, who comes around to lap us, so we are very, very slow in this race. Lap 17 now, chasing after Luigi Villoresi. We are still in 11th, hopefully, and we are very, very slow, as we now have a look at a replay of Da Silva Ramos. He kind of did what a lot of people did in the previous season. He crashed into that invisible wall at the exit of the chicane. And now on lap 19, a bunch of cars caught up to me and are lapping me, and that is Luigi Villoresi coming around to lap me, so everyone actually got around me once. On lap 21, for some reason I had to come in. I ran out of fuel and I had to come in, and we see a bunch of other cars coming into the pits. I have no idea how this happened, because when I started this race I had 33 laps worth of fuel, and by the end of lap 20 I only had 2 laps of fuel, so I have no idea why it happened, but at least the pits worked, kind of, and we are ready to rejoin the race here. Lap 22, and Harry Schell is out of the Grand Prix. We are now in 10th, so we will move up into 8th, and here is Harry Schell coming around the second hairpin here on the Argentine circuit, and stops in the middle of the circuit. That is it for his race. And here is Gerino Gerini, who runs Grand Prix as well. Lap 30, coming around, and something happened there. I don't know quite what. It seemed like I crashed into that car that was sitting at the edge of the circuit there, but that's how I drove up until there. Here you can see a slowed down version. I was nowhere near that red car, but collision detection happened, and I really have nothing to say about that. We were about 1 lap away from finishing the race, because we were already 2 laps down by this point. But anyway, on lap 31, Cesare Perdisa retired due to a suspension problem, and this is Horace Gould running out of fuel. Louis Rosier, who also ran out of fuel. Paco Godia also running out of fuel. Yes, everyone ran out of fuel a few laps, a couple of laps before the end of the race. And here we see the only one who actually finished the race, Sterling Moss, winning the 1956 Argentine Grand Prix. Thankfully, everyone who ran out of fuel actually completed 90% of race distance, which means they thankfully get to receive a couple of points. So I guess they have that going for them. And here are the retirements. Unfortunately, we are among the retirements, which isn't the best of things, but not the way I would have liked to start my 50th Grand Prix. This is my 50th Grand Prix in this series, so I guess it was inevitable. It would have happened sooner or later, right? So anywho, here are Andy's career statistics. As I said, this was his 50th Grand Prix. His best start is first, has 3 pole positions, has set 9 fastest laps, his best finishes in first, has completed 32 races, 30 of them in the points, has won 18 Grand Prix, 3 at the Indianapolis 500 and 1 at the Monaco Grand Prix, has 4 championships under his belt, has a total of 198 points, has retired 18 times, has experienced 1100 out of 1400 laps, has 5 bronze trophies, 3 silver trophies, 18 gold trophies, and as an extension 18 podiums. And now a very quick look at the championship standings. Obviously Moss takes the lead in the championship with Berra in second, Godia 3rd, Rosiev 4th, and Luigi Villaresi in 5th. Moss also managed to post the fastest lap of the race. Not only that, but he actually broke the track record by, I think, 3 or 4 seconds, which is quite amazing. So well done to Sterling Moss. That's going to be a difficult time to beat, I guess, from now on. So who knows who will manage to set a new fastest lap for the Argentine circuit. But that is it for this race. Not very happy with the outcome of it, especially towards the end there. That shouldn't have happened, not like that. I mean, you saw everyone came into the pits when I went in, so I don't know why they didn't take up enough fuel to finish the race. It just makes no sense to me. It seriously doesn't, so I'm a little bit pissed about that, to be honest. But anywho, our next race is the Monaco Grand Prix. I'm looking forward to this. Hopefully it will go a little bit better than last season's Monaco Grand Prix. That was quite a mess, but we'll have to wait and see. So, again, that is it for this video. That is it from me. You can already vote for next season's team. So if you want to have a say in what team Andy Higgs will drive for in the 1957 season, check out the link in the description, which will take you to a straw poll where you can vote for next season's team. I also have a second channel where I will be playing all sorts of different games. At the moment I'm doing a Need for Speed Underground playthrough, so if you're interested in that, I have a link in the description to that as well. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, stay sharp.